What's happening, ladies and gents? It's mates at HEAD back with you for another video straight out of Middlesbrough, baby. I hope you guys are doing well. Great start. As you can clearly tell, in a way, even though I am getting better, guys, I'm still look like shit, to be honest. These past couple of weeks, the stuff on my YouTube channel, Game is Matter, and my podcast in general, I have not had a very good couple of weeks in terms of illness. I've had a bad chest. I've had a terrible cough, which has driven me so far up the wall I can't think straight. But I'm in hangover mode now, so I'm on the verge of getting back to normal, and hopefully I'll be right as rain. So I'm back doing this again and everything, and that's why I was in two minds of whether or not to do this today, because I'm still recovering, but I promised you guys I'd do it, so I'm going to do it nonetheless. And I was also in two minds whether or not to do it in video webcam form or a podcast form. So, yeah, all in all, it is a very good thing. Right, quick little promotions here and there before we start. I just want to get these out the way before we talk about the main priority, which is Monday Night Raw. For those of you that don't know, check out my episode 100 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Big thank you to everyone who supported me on the podcast and supported me on this channel, but mainly supported me on the podcast. And also, March 13th, I will be co-hosting Max Wrestling podcast as well with Daz. And I have no idea who's coming on the show, and quite frankly, I don't care. We all know we're going to have a good laugh. And the only thing I do know and I care about is the fact that I'm co-hosting it. So it should be interesting, very much indeed. I've made a couple appearances on that show, maybe 3 at the most. And it's now got to the point right now where I'm co-hosting their anniversary show. So that should be a hoot. Also, as well, I've got a Wix website. It's nearly finished. It should be out either this week or probably I'm going to leave it until next week. So everything should be cushy in that respect, at least. So, without further ado, though, ladies and gents, all that promotional good housekeeping out the way, let's get to Monday Night Raw. There's going to be 2 articles in the description below, guys, on the very latest backstage news on a possible return of the WWE brand extension, the brand split. And Stone Cold Steve Austin explained why Roman Reigns needs to turn heel. I'll let you read them out yourself. They'll be in the description below. Now, for Monday Night Raw, Dean Ambrose confronted the World Heavyweight Champion, demanding a match against him for the world title. He demanded a world title shot. Triple H said he'd think about it and let him know by the end of the night, but puts him in a match against Alberto Del Rio. Now, fast forward to the main event. Might as well do this and get out the way. Alberto beats Dean Ambrose, or gets beat by Dean Ambrose by DQ, because Triple H comes out and 60 League of Nations on the Dean Ambrose. The beatdown ensues. Triple H gets in his face, yada, yada, yada. Ambrose cocks him and then starts beating the hell out of him. Triple H pedigrees him, grants him his match. So I'm guessing it's next week. It's going to be Dean Ambrose one-on-one with Triple H for the world title. Also, Triple H is scheduled to defend the world title on the WWE Network special, which is coming this month as well. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. I guessed it was supposed to be. Excuse me. It was supposed to be the Brock Lesnar versus Luke Harper, but since the Brock Lesnar Bray Wyatt match has been thrown out, I guess that card has changed. I don't know the card. I haven't seen the card. I know Brock Lesnar will be there, but he probably won't be facing what's his name, Luke Harper anymore. But it seems that we're going into a world title match next week on Raw. Now, to the other main talking point, which was now, also, just to go off last week when Shane McMahon returned, Stephanie delivered her speech on her Legacy of Excellence Award, and that basically went off one, which is not what they're doing. But the other main talking point was Undertaker return. And Mr. McMahon thinks he had the Undertaker in his pocket. And turns out it wasn't true, because Undertaker came out, got in the ring, face-to-face. Vince turned around the crowd saying, he's my force of destruction, yada, yada, yada. Taker grabs him by the throat and says, you know what I'm capable of doing in Hell in a Cell once that door shuts. The blood of your son will be on your hands, not mine. A little chilling warning there to The Undertaker. Bubba Ray Dudley beats Jey Uso. Again, I don't know whether this match is going with him, with the Usos and Dudleys. I hope they don't make a Dudley's match at WrestleMania against the Usos, because like I said on my podcast, no one would give a shit. You'd be best off making it interesting, like adding Rikishi in and bringing back Spike Dudley and making it a 6-man or something like that. Because, like I said, I mean, be honest. Do you really care about a Dudley's versus Uso match? No. I don't, and I know probably you don't either. Excuse my cough. Naomi and Brie Bella. It seems this beef between Brie Bella and Lana. What that is for, I don't know. Will we see Lana fight Brie Bella at some point? We all know Brie Bella's on her way out. She's made it crystal clear that she's going to be leaving WWE very, very soon. So this will be just a goodbye thing. And Ryback, makes claims that he wants a solo push. He wants the spotlight on him, and says that if he's not going to get the spotlight, he's going to take the spotlight, and beats up Ambrose in the process. What is in the future for Ryback? I don't know. Quite frankly, what's in the future for the Wyatt family? What will the Wyatt family be doing at WrestleMania? Now, I've heard a rumor, and that's why I made one on my Games Matter channel, that there's talks about adding Bray Wyatt to the triple threat match, against Brock and Dean Ambrose for the street fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I know it's not going to happen, but like I say, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Question is, where does that leave the Wyatt family? What's going to be done with Bray Wyatt and the co for WrestleMania? I mean, it's like I said yesterday on the podcast, to build these guys up, and then I swear Vince just grabs out of Bray Wyatt at some point and just goes, no, you're coming back down. No, that's it. You're not going as far as that. It just makes no sense what WWE are doing with the Wyatt family. And granted that they should never have broke up in the first place, but WWE decided to put them back together, and all they've done is bury them. And I'll go on record and saying this right now. If you were going to do that, what the fuck did you put them back together for in the first place? That's just my opinion on that. Rusev and Sheamus squashed the Lucha Dragons in a whatever match for me. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks ended the draw to determine the number one contender for Charlotte's Divas title, and we'll get a title shot at WrestleMania. We all know what's going to happen. It ended in a draw because it's going to be a triple threat match between the three. Little spoiler there. 3 members of the 4 Horsewomen will fight for the Divas title at WrestleMania. Little spoiler for you there. And based off that draw and that match, you can clearly see it's going to happen. And for some strange reason, Dolph Ziggler jobs out to The Miz. For what reason, I don't know. Also, Chris Jericho and AJ Styles defeat the New Day and challenge the New Day to a match next week on Raw, this time for the tag titles. They want a tag team title shot, so that should be interesting in itself. And yes, this goes to another rumor that I've heard. It's based on WrestleMania involving Kevin Owens. Everybody wants to see Kevin Owens beat or face AJ Styles. Doesn't seem that's going to happen. It seems that Kevin Owens and Big Show have had a problem lately. and Big Show defeats Kevin Owens by counter based off what happened on SmackDown. I saw something today on the internet, a picture of WrestleMania banner in the background with Kevin Owens on one side, like PNG things where you put them together and you stick them in that picture, and on the other side, Sting. Which got me to thinking, since we're not going to see a Kevin Owens AJ Styles match, I don't know if we're going to even see a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match. Looking for something to do for Sting at WrestleMania, since he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, so he's going to be at WrestleMania at some capacity. Kevin Owens maybe Sting versus Sting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Sting's put over Seth Rollins, so it's interesting. Question is, will it work, and will Sting be able to go? Because last time we saw Sting in the ring, he got injured facing Seth Rollins for the world title, which is the reason why Seth Rollins ended up winning in the first place. Because I believe Sting was going to win the world title, and if he hadn't got injured, you had to go back and keep the belt on Seth Rollins. Because you can tell that he got injured after the match. You can see it in his face. So, will we see a Kevin Owens versus Sting match at WrestleMania? Please, God, don't make it a Big Show versus Kevin Owens match at WrestleMania. If you're going to use Big Show in a match, just stick him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Please, don't give him to Kevin Owens. All in all, okay Raw for me. I will give it a solid 7 out of 10. 3 out of 5. If I'm scoring out of 5, 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10. Because yes, there were some idiotic moments. I had some questionable moments as well, and this thing with R-Truth and Goldust still going on. But all in all, I had no complaints about it. It didn't make me. There was no captivating holy shit moments like there was with Shane McMahon last week. But there was no worse things either. And Taker made an impact like I said he would. So based on that, 7 out of 10, 3 out of 5. And that is the end of the Raw review. So what do you guys think if you see this? What do you guys think of Raw? What do you guys think of, the build into WrestleMania? Leave a comment below. Hell, get me on Twitter at WN Podcast or Tony_Walker, and I might even read your name out on the podcast. 101 episode, the 101 episode coming up. If you talk in there, leave a comment in there, I'll take your name, I'll take the comment, I'll read it out on the podcast. You never know. If you want to get mentioned on the podcast as well. By the way, speaking of podcasts, one of my colleagues at work wanted to get a mention on my podcast. He's doing something. When they dress up as the old school wrestlers back in the day, kind of thing. I've seen it all before. It's happened before on Raw. People dressing up as Macho Man and Hogan and stuff like that. But you want to get a mention on my podcast? You want to get a shout out on my podcast or in anything I do? Let me know. Let me know in advance. Like I say, get me on Tony_Walker on Twitter, WN Podcast on Twitter, Facebook.com/WN Podcast. Get me on there. Let me know if you want a shout out. If you enjoy the show, if you've got information you want to do. If you've got information that you want me to mention on the show, like promote on your show, on my podcast, no matter what, that's the only way you'll get a podcast. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a mind reader. If you want a shout out, let me know. I'd be more than happy to give you a shout out on the podcast or mention whatever it is you're going to do or mention whatever it is you're going to say. I mean, if you heard my colleague at work, man, Jesus Christ, it was like he was whinging. It was like bitching and moaning. But like I say, if you want to, don't get me wrong, I like the guy, but, he just drives me at the wall sometimes. He's a great guy and a great person to work with, but he can't push my buttons on occasion, can't you? You know who you are. But at the end of the day, if you want me to mention you, let me know in advance, or let me know, give me something to mention you, or just let me know that you want a shout out. I'll be more than happy to do it. And with that being said, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. Leave a like if you like what you see. Show your support to the Games Matter channel. If you want to see more of this stuff, the only way you'll get to see it for more wrestling content and for weekly podcasts as well. And for more information on my websites and that, hit the subscribe button, show your support. I'm on 195 subscribers. I'd love to get the 200. And the only way I can do that is with your support. Also, check out my games channel as well for the future live streams. I haven't been doing any live streams this week because, like I said, I'm still recovering from the cough, and I'm sick of coughing on stream. So, I'm sick of people listening in their earphones and that coughing, hearing me coughing and that, which is just ridiculous. But anyway, for your future live streams, go and subscribe to the Games Matter channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thank you so much for your support, not only on the wrestling channel, this Wrestling Matters channel, the 100th episode, and my podcast in general. I love you guys. Thank you for all your support as well. Check out my shoe promo I did as well. I'm in two minds whether or not to put that up this week as well. I will review the ICW Friday Night Fight Club this week on the podcast. I'm not going to do it this week on the YouTube channel. I will do it this week on the podcast. I will catch up with ICW this week on the podcast. That I can promise you. And until next time, guys, wrestling matters on this channel because I don't give a damn about sports entertainment. See you next time. Peace out.